Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel, Letitia and Maddie, Fit by 40, hashtag snatched by 40. So we have a special guest with us today, and she is going to teach us about our diet. We have Joy, our dietitian, and she's going to work with us. She's going to tell us some things that we can do to improve our diet, to eat better and healthy foods. You excited?
Yes, I'm excited. So y'all better keep up because she's going to give us healthier ways to eat and think smart when we're making choices at the grocery store. So just try to keep up, take notes, comment if you have questions that y'all want us to ask her. Comment your questions down below so the next time we meet, we'll be able to ask her those questions.
Yes, and as always, make sure you hit that notification bell, like, comment, and subscribe. You're going to get some good information, and you're not going to want to miss this. So we will see you in a minute with Joy.
With Joy. Let's get to it.
How about you, Maddie? Are you like a pizza person?
Pasta.
Pasta.
Yeah, I
Are
love
you
pasta
real
too.
picky about things, or will you try new things?
I am very picky, but I will try new things.
I'm not really picky, but I like to eat what I know.
Let me just run some foods by you. Beans, yes or no?
What kind is the question?
And this could be anything from
Yes.
chickpeas, baked beans, black beans, kidney beans, any of them.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes, I like some lima beans. I don't like baked beans and all of that other beans.
baked beans, yes.
Okay.
Lima beans, yes. Black beans, yes.
How about quinoa?
I've tried it.
Never tried.
I can do it.
Okay. How about eggs?
Love them.
Love eggs.
Okay. Do you guys smoke?
No.
Do you drink alcohol?
No,
No.
I don't.
Occasionally.
Not much.
A glass of wine occasionally.
Right, totally. What about sleeping? Do you girls sleep okay?
I don't really.
Not always good. Is it trouble getting to sleep or trouble staying to sleep?
I think mine's just trouble getting to sleep.
Okay.
I can get to sleep. It's trouble staying asleep. And I get up super early and I'm just like staring at the walls like I want to go to sleep, but
Do you feel constantly tired?
I think I do. I think I'm always tired.
Like you feel like, oh, if I lay down right now, I could take a nap. Okay, so tell me what goes on in your normal day. Do you girls, because school is over now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you eat breakfast every day?
No, I
eat
don't.
breakfast now.
Is it recorded?
I mean, yeah, we record, yeah. I try to eat breakfast every day. The kids eat breakfast, and sometimes I just don't want, like, I don't want to eat so early.
Okay. If you do eat, what do you eat?
Waffles,
With syrup and butter?
yes,
Any
and
like
sausage,
any like breakfast
eggs,
meat?
sausage.
and
But
eggs,
I use veggie sausage for me.
Okay. Just because you like the taste of it, or you just
Yes.
don't like regular pork sausage?
Because I like the taste of it.
Okay.
And I'm low-key
I've never had that.
vegetarian.
Sausage, eggs, anything. What did you say?
I'm low-key vegetarian. I'm really not, but me and meats, we just funny.
You're a a flexitarian.
Okay, yeah.
So a flexitarian is like mostly vegetarian, but sometimes they eat a hot dog
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or a chicken breast or
Yes.
something like that, or shrimp or whatever. Okay. If you do sausage and eggs, do you also do like a piece of toast with it, or fruit or anything, or just sausage and eggs?
We just do sausage and eggs and maybe some fruit every once in a while.
Okay.
I don't do toast.
What about lunches? What goes on there?
Lunches? We do lunches like chicken nuggets. Sometimes we might go to Wawa. Might be a salad, French fries, or leftover dinner.
Okay.
Jelly
Leftover
peanut
dinner.
butter sandwich.
True. Stuff
And
like
if you
that.
go to Wawa, it's a salad or like a hoagie or something,
Like
or one of
hoagie,
those.
yeah, salad. or
Wawa's got a
hoagie.
lot of stuff right now.
Yeah. but I mainly stick to their hoagies and salads.
Okay. They even have grits and pasta.
Do they?
It's kind of out of
They do
control.
have a pasta. The pasta is good. Gerald tried it.
You tried it?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And I will tell you, one of my clients works at Wawa Corporate, and I was like, so what's the next step? Like, I could totally envision this like boutique hotel built around every Wawa, where you have to go into the Wawa to go to the hotel, and like people would love Wawa, and they have Wawa pillowcases and Wawa shower curtains. You know how crazy Delco would go for that?
Yeah.
Like their heads would explode. They would love that.
Yeah.
They would love that.
Yeah, they have so many branches. They just built another one, right?
They're going
up
to
the
be in
street.
Georgia soon. Like I know there's one somewhere in Florida. This woman told me, she's like, oh yeah, they're coming. They're going to be in Georgia like in the next couple months too.
Wow.
They're just working their way all the way down the coast. Good for Wawa.
You right?
Okay, leftover dinner, salad, hoagie, something like that. Now, what about dinner? What goes on for dinner?
Sometimes I either bake fish. I fry it every once in a while.
Okay.
Pizza.
Pizza, my favorite thing on
Yes.
the planet.
Pizza.
What else? Veggies? Do you try to do like fish or protein with some veggies with some
Yes.
sort of carb like pasta or rice?
Yeah, so I'll do a rice and a vegetable.
Okay.
Mainly broccoli, string beans, corn.
Okay. What about any kind of like salads at dinner?
No, not unless we're eating spaghetti or like lasagna or something. I might do a salad, but it's not every
Okay. What about snacks? Let's talk about that.
Cakes. What's the little muffin things I've been getting lately?
little bites,
Little bites. Oh my
Oh,
god.
little bites.
donuts.
Little bites are really easy food.
Oh my goodness, they're so
You
good.
barely even have to chew them. That's why people love them.
Yeah. And yeah, I get yogurt for the kids. But I don't really. I mean, every once in a while I'll have a yogurt or something. But
Okay. Fruit? Any fruit? Nuts?
fruit,
Cheeses?
nuts. I don't really do too much of cheese because most of us are lactose intolerant.
Ah, okay. Do you guys do lactose-free milk?
I use oat milk or almond milk.
I want to try, but I'm scared. The
Scared.
taste. I'm so used to the regular milk. I'm
Does the
scared.
regular milk bother your stomach?
It does. So I just don't eat it. And then when I really have a taste, I might eat it and just take the pain for a little bit. And then don't eat it again for months.
What about the lactose-free milk?
I don't know, I'd just be scared to try something different when it comes to the milk.
In my house, the organic whole milk lives for my son and I, and my husband uses the lactose-free milk, and honestly, you can't taste the difference.
Okay, I'm gonna have
You
to
really
try
can.
it.
Yeah, I think I
And
used to
if
do
you go
it.
to
when I was
Aldi,
younger.
you can get it for like $4 cheaper than you would at Acme.
I'm gonna get some today. Lactose free milk. And
Yeah.
try to see how it works on our stomach.
I have a feeling we're going to be good friends here, girls. I think you guys have lots of questions, and I'm excited to hear all of them and to help get you to a good place. Tell me, okay, so we got fruit, nuts, little bites. What about, is there any candy, chips, all that kind of stuff live in your house?
My house.
Yeah, chips.
That's one of my
candy.
questions. How to shop and not for kids without having to put them on like, strict like type of diet. Like, cause I don't want to do a diet, but
No,
I want to eat more healthier.
right.
But I still want to have them be able to have stuff too. You know what I'm saying? But when I get them stuff, I end up eating it.
Right. And then it gets a little hairy. That is gonna be one of the number one things we talk about today.
Okay.
And I will send you girls stuff in the mail so that you feel like you have, I can text it to both of you, I can email it to both of you, whatever's convenient for you. You guys can share it together. I've talked a lot about blood sugar control. Whether you're 100 pounds or 400 pounds, we all have blood sugar and it goes up and down all day. And we have to talk about that. So that's a big thing.
Remember that because
Tell
I have
me about drinks. Go
blood
ahead.
sugar. Because I have questions about that concerning my body.
And I'm gonna write down, I used to be a teacher, so I always make sure my clients have like a lot of information before they leave me, and I write you out a goal sheet. And I always tell my clients too, and this is a little bit early to say this, but if we are done talking to each other and there's something that just didn't make sense and you're like out in the world and you're like, oh crap, what did she say about that?
Okay.
And I can, like, if I'm not chasing my son or on the phone with a client, chances are I'll answer you pretty quickly.
Okay.
Because I like to support my people. Like, if you're at the store and you're like, hey, Joy, this or this, like, give me 10 minutes and I'll probably get back to you.
Okay.
Tell me about drinks. What's going on with drinks, ladies? Water? Milk?
Water and juice.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, juice as in, like, Hawaiian punch juice, or juice as in, like, 100% orange juice? Or both?
Any kind of juice for me.
Okay.
I guess for both, because we try to get like the simply lemonade. And I think it's supposed to be 100%, but I'm not really sure.
The Simply Lemonade is definitely better than, say, Minute Maid
Okay.
lemonade.
Ooh, I like
100, yeah,
lemonade.
it's better. But that's something we can definitely talk about, because I want to talk to you about the juices. Sodas, no. Coffee?
Coffee, yes, for me sometimes. Yeah.
Every once in a while.
But that messes up my stomach too. The
Yeah, do it with the oat milk.
see, yeah.
The coffee, it sounds like you got some stomach things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think mine
You
is
get a
the
lot of upset
lactose
stomach?
Yeah,
intolerant thing.
yeah, because I like coffee, but I couldn't do it because of the creamer.
Milk.
So
Yeah,
I started
creamer.
using oat milk and did a little something different.
And I will tell you, I'm a big cow's milk fan, but that oat milk in coffee is really good.
Yes.
I have to
And
try
I'll tell you, the
Oat
only reason
milk.
that I don't usually get it is because the one Dunkin' Donuts near me charges 50 cents for stupid oat milk. And I'm like, you gotta be losing your brain if you think I'm gonna pay an extra 50 cents for every day for a coffee.
Right.
No way.
Right.
For oat milk? Come on.
Right.
So that's the only reason I don't get it every day, but it does really taste good. You don't even realize the difference, and it makes it so nice and creamy looking. So,
And it's
which is good.
also
Okay.
an oat milk.
what about takeout? I heard pizza. How many times a week are we eating something out of the house? I'll take that as every day.
No, not,
Not
every day, no,
but
no.
at least 3 times a week.
Yeah, I would say about 3.
Okay. And I heard Wawa. I heard pizza. Right. What about things like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A?
Yep, all
Yep.
those.
We don't do McDonald's. Every once in a while we do McDonald's, but Wendy's,
Chick-fil-A.
every once in a while Taco Bell, and I think about it, it makes me sick to my stomach. But
But you still do it.
You gotta
I
make the
still do
noise
it.
though.
And I mean, living in Delaware County, and in Delaware, you're not that far from us. So, like, I tell people all the time, I'm like, we literally live in a food ocean. Like, you could drive down Chester Pike or McDade Boulevard a mile in any direction from my house, whether it's Prospect Park, Norwood, whatever it is, and you will see like 50 pizza shops, Mexican stores, Chinese restaurants, Wawas, everywhere. I'm like, it's like a food ocean, but you're not supposed to eat any of it. It's so confusing. Like, it makes no sense.
Right.
So that's why I have a job, and I'm good at what I do, because I like to sort through all of this stuff and like come up with a good base for my people to feel like they're nourished. And my goal for all my clients, whether right now my youngest client is 8, my oldest client is 83. So everybody in between, from 83 to 8, I want everyone to have this like longevity and this low inflammation stress in their bodies. And that means fueling your body most of the time the right way. Does Chick-fil-A happen in my life sometimes? Sure. Does pizza happen? Sure. But it's not an everyday event. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And it's mainly because of the sodium, and I really do worry about that. So it's some things to think about. Do you feel like you girls drink enough water?
I don't know.
Not really. I try to, but I don't succeed.
So what is the ultimate goal here for you girls? Is it weight management? Is it just healthy nutrition in general? Like what were your thoughts on what we want to work on?
Both.
Healthy, being more healthier, and weight
And
loss.
weight management.
Okay, so let's talk about water, because it is my favorite thing to talk about. And it's my favorite thing in the world besides living humans. I love water, and I've helped a lot of people with water. Some things that I've been hearing: stomach upset, you want some weight loss, poor sleep. How about pooping? Are we diarrhea, constipation, or everybody's normal?
I'm normal.
Sometimes.
Sometimes constipation, diarrhea. Okay. Signs of dehydration. I wouldn't doubt it if you ladies are a little bit dehydrated. Some signs of dehydration: dry lips, dry tongue, dry skin, joint pain, especially after you eat something really salty like takeout, pizza, Chinese food. Can't get comfy in bed. That's a big sign of dehydration. People have reflux. That's also a sign of dehydration. And the number one thing that I've noticed with my clients that I have not read in one book, not one article, not one professor ever teaching me this, is people have cravings for things that they can't stop craving. So for example, you're like, I have this itch for Chips Ahoy cookies, and I can't shake it. And you can't stop once you get the thing. So when your body is dehydrated, it starts to act like an irate toddler. And we all know how that can be pretty ugly. So it's like, give me cookies, give me chips, give me this, give me the fruit snacks, like give me all this stuff. And you're like, oh, this is not good. We've been taught, especially as educators, we've been taught to not drink because you can't just leave your classroom to go pee. So when I was a teacher years ago, I'm 42, I was like 22 to 25, I educated, but when I was a teacher, I was constantly dehydrated. I craved bagels, waffles, donuts, any kind of carb that I could ever shove in my mouth, and I was exhausted all the time. Obviously, I gained weight because I was eating nothing but carbs, and I just didn't feel good. I just generally felt tired. I was 22. I shouldn't have been feeling bad. Making some changes going forward. I've seen some big advancements, which is great. When people realize they're dehydrated, it's like a light bulb that goes off. So the average adult loses about 80 ounces of fluid a day. That's 80. Most of that is not from we're exercising and sweating or we're outside in really hot weather. Most of it is from breathing and speaking. So if you're breathing, which you are all day long, you are losing fluid. You're speaking, being a teacher, you're absolutely talking a lot. You're losing a lot of fluid. It is vital that if you want your body to be the healthiest body that it can be, you need to drink water first thing in the morning. Before coffee, before tea, before cereal, waffles, eggs, veggie, sausage, whatever it is, you've got to get that water in because the whole entire time that you're sleeping, you're breathing. You could be breathing out of your mouth, and if you're breathing out of your mouth, you're losing even more fluid. Do you girls ever wake up in the middle of the night like my throat is so dry? That's a sign of dehydration. When people are better hydrated, their body feels calm and they can sleep better. When you get better sleep, it's like this big cycle. When you get better sleep, stress levels go down, cortisol levels come down, and weight starts to shed off.
I just did that the other night, actually. I just did that the other night, actually. I woke up like, I'm so hot, I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
went to go get
That
some water.
feeling of like you're like I need water right now is not a good feeling. I know, like, do you guys know SpongeBob? Like do you know that show when he goes into like the squirrel's like air bubble and he's like, like I can't make it. That's how I feel like people feel. Like that's what I think of when that happens to me. So I don't know. I don't want to be that person. SpongeBob, dry it up. So okay, water first thing in the morning. I'm like Dr. Seuss with water, like in bed, on your head, hot, cold, young, old. Like you've got to get the water in. And I usually say around 8 ounces. If you want to be an overachiever and drink a whole water bottle, which is 16.9, I'm totally fine with that too. 8 ounces is my number one spot. When you drink that 1 cup of water, it's going to set you up for success for the rest of the day. You will notice, you will start to crave more water. And I feel like, Maddie, for you being off for the summer, or at least having like a less busy schedule, you'll be able to get this habit in, and by the time school starts, it'll be more of a thing where you're like, okay, my body feels like in tune with the water, and I don't have to pee every 2 minutes when I'm drinking water. Because your body does get used to it. And actually, your body craves more water when you drink more water.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
You guys scared? Are you thirsty yet?
I'm not real. I'm getting some water.
Okay. Water throughout the day. I don't care if the average person is losing 80 ounces of fluid. I don't expect my clients that might only drink 1 water bottle a day. I don't expect them to be like, oh, let me turn around and drink 80 ounces, because you will hate me. So that's why I'm like, just work your way up. If yesterday you drank 1 water bottle, maybe today let's try to drink 2. Something else that I have noticed with my clients with sweetened beverages, especially with soda, is when they start to drink more water, they need less of the sweetened beverages because their body isn't craving that energy. It doesn't need the drinks. And I will tell you, juice has a place, and I understand people love juice, and it's tasty and it's refreshing. But 4 ounces of juice raises your blood sugar about 50 points in less than 10 minutes. So if you are drinking, which nobody's just drinking 4 ounces of juice, that's a half a cup of juice, that's nothing. Yeah. If you're drinking 12, 16 ounces of juice, that is a super fast spike in blood sugar, which then is just completely freaking out your body. So, I'm not an anti-juicer, but I do say, if you want, and Simply Lemonade, the raspberry one, is actually living in my house right now. Because I make my son popsicles, but I put like this much juice and like this much water in the pop. If you like that and you need a little flavor in your water, I'm fine with you taking like your glass and putting a little bit of juice, but the most of it should be water and ice. And that's okay. So totally fine. And I'm not trying to like kick everything out of your house. It's just getting to a healthier place. Does that make sense?
Yes. So you saying mix like the juice with the water? Okay.
Like for us adults?
Yes.
The kids too.
Kids too.
Yeah.
It tastes like water.
But it will give it a little bit of
Listen.
flavor. It's better than regular water.
It's really, I've seen this because I taught in a diabetes center. That rush in blood sugar that people get from juice and from soda is so intense. It is not good for your body.
It's not.
So if you are watering it down, and I'm not saying like 50-50, I'm just saying like put some, for me, if I'm drinking juice, I'm having like this much and mostly water, but I love water. So it's different, but if you're drinking that straight, it's a big rush.
Okay.
It's a big rush, and that's not good for weight loss. Because when you rush that blood sugar up high, your insulin also rushes up high, and when insulin is up high, it's not easy to get it down. And guess what happens when your insulin levels are high? You crave more carb.
Yeah.
So it's more carb, more carb, more carb, more carb. The only way to get that down is to slowly inch things down and more protein and fats, which we're going to talk about next.
Okay.
What about exercise, ladies?
I have a question while we're on blood sugar. So when I was pregnant with the kids, I had gestational diabetes, right?
Yep.
And my blood sugar, they were crazy. And after having them, I still sometimes can feel when my sugar is high. Like if I ate breakfast and I didn't eat a snack after breakfast, like within the next hour or two, my body, I get, like shaky, and I'm like, okay, now I know I need to go eat some sugar or something.
So
like
that's a low blood sugar.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
signs of low blood sugar would be shaky. Would be like I'm getting grouchy, like when people say they're hangry. That's a sign of low blood sugar. Like my husband usually shoves like a cheese stick and some crackers in my mouth when I get to that point. It's not good. You get shaky, you get tired, you get grouchy, you might get a little sweaty. Signs of a high blood sugar would be like your eyes start to get a little fuzzy. You might also feel tired. Usually those people feel sluggish, but in a different way. Not like I need a nap. It's more like a fatigued feeling. Sometimes they get a little jittery, but usually high blood sugars are not as shaky as low blood sugars.
Right.
Low,
So when my
low blood
sugar
sugar
drops.
is a grouchiness and a shaky feeling.
Okay. So that's what happens often to me.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. That's why I asked you about the sausage and the eggs, because that's protein and fat and not a whole lot of carb. So that's what I want to talk about, balancing out. And what you guys were asking about the kids and snacking with the kids, the sooner that you can get your kids to grasp onto this technique that I'm going to tell you about, the better off they're going to be. Like my client I had before, he was 13, and he was like, I feel so much better knowing this, because he feels like when he's out with his friends, like he can make decent choices, and his body's going to grow healthy, and when he's 50, he won't need help with his reflux because he's following along with different things that are going on.
Right.
Have you seen this before? The plate?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the Joy of Nutrition explanation of this, because sure, we're grown adults. We all know that vegetables are good for us, right? Fruit is good for us. Okay, fine. But I have a lot of clients that come to me and they're like, oh, Joy, I've been snacking so healthfully. I've been eating so much fruit. And I'm like, okay. I think they think I'm going to like do cartwheels or something in excitement. I'm like, that's a good start, but it's just carb. It's just a banana. It's just watermelon. It's just grapes, mango, whatever. It is raising your blood sugar up quickly, falling down quickly. Danger zone. That fall down quickly is the danger zone. That's when your body says, I'm running out of energy and I need more. So children, and I saw this last weekend with one of our best friends' 2 children, I've never seen 2 kids rip through more snacks in such a short period of time. And I realized they were eating cheddar bunnies and goldfish and graham bear things and cookies and potato chips and carbs and carbs and carbs and raisins. And I was like, oh my God, like I don't know if we have any snacks left, because they weren't eating any protein or fat with it. So So when you pick a snack, I always tell people like potato chips, tortilla chips, fruit is not off limits. Cereal, rice, all these things are totally fine. But these guys are giving us a rise in blood sugar and giving us energy. But it's fast energy. So if we pair this with some sort of a protein or a fat, instead of our blood sugars going like this, they're going to go like this. That is the key to success. And that, my friends, is what I call a snobby snack. So a snobby snack is something that is just like a regular, mundane, normal snack. It's pretzels, it's goldfish, it's some crackers. Yeah, sure, is that a snack? But that's part of a snack. If you want to make it a little bit snobbier, you'll add some cheese or some beef jerky or a hard-boiled egg or nuts or nut butter, olives, something that's guacamole, something that's going to give it that fat, that's going to make that carb work longer for you, simply because it just takes longer to digest.
Okay.
That's the whole scientific side of it. When you just eat a carb, it's quickly digested. When you eat a carb with fat and protein, it takes longer to process through your belly and out to your bloodstream. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So when you're out in the world and you're thinking like, I always think about like parties and barbecues and things like that. So sure, there'll be like veggies and dip, maybe a fruit bowl, and people would say, oh, I'm just gonna eat, I'm just gonna have the fruit. I'm just gonna have the fruit at the barbecue. That's all I want. I'm just gonna eat fruit because it's so healthy. And I'm like, that's a really good start, but it's just fruit. It's gonna give you that rise in blood sugar, and then you're going to want the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. So that's when I tell them, like, I know you guys can't do much cheese, but like, what if you paired it with something like a cheese, or do they have a nut bowl there, or like something like that you could have that, and that would keep you better balanced.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So what I do is I provide you with, I'm going to send this to you in the mail, this hard copy, and I can also text it to both of you. And what I will do is on the back of that, there are lists and lists and lists of snobby snacks on here.
Okay.
Everything from things with like Nutella, hazelnut spread, to yogurt parfaits, to eating fish as part of a snack, and nuts and beans and seeds and that sort of stuff. When people think about their snacks, like those muffins, those little mini muffins that I know everybody loves, that's a really fast rise in blood sugar. So if you could pair them with a hard-boiled egg or nuts or olives, which I know sounds really bizarre, something along those lines, you're making those mini muffins work for you. Because those
Oh, I missed the
muffins,
part with the mini muffins. What'd you say?
I was thinking of you with those muffins.
Sorry. What'd you say about the mini muffins?
The mini muffins are giving you a very fast rise in blood sugar, and they're very palatable, and that's why everybody loves them. Because you barely even have to chew them; they like melt in your mouth. But that's blood sugar, so you need to get them combined with something else, whether it's a beef stick or an egg or nuts, seeds, something along those lines. Some roasted chickpeas, something that has some protein in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be that way. I'm going to tell you, I'm a little scared of those muffins just because there are some ingredients in there that are a little sketch. But my mother-in-law bought them. My mother-in-law bought them for my son when we were up at her mountain house, and I was like, please put these far, far away. Because I don't usually say no to food. Like, I'm like, I get it. Like, he can have flavor ice popsicles sometimes. They don't live in my house. Like, that's just the way I am. But I was like, please put these far, far away. She was like, why? I'm like, because every kid that I counsel is addicted to these things. I said, he can't have one.
I think I'm gonna stop buying them for a while because I think I'm becoming addicted.
They're
And
very,
I always
very
get the 3
addictive.
boxes because they're usually on sale for 3 boxes.
Yep.
And I always more than likely eat 2 packs in one setting because they're so small and, like you said, easy to
And
chew.
they're perfect for adults. They're like a perfect mouth-sized bite. They make them too convenient, which is what is kind of scary about kids' snacks too, which I want to talk to you guys about. How many kids are there altogether? And what are their ages? Are they like little? Are they older? What goes on?
It's 4, and they're from 6 to 13.
Okay, so let's talk about anytime snacks, and I think this will be helpful for you girls too. So in my home, I do something, and this started, my son is 3 and a half, so this started with him with getting his own food and creating independence and like these behaviors that we want in our kids. So what I do is he knows in the fridge, like there's one like little shelf that's his shelf. And on there are what I call anytime snacks. There's applesauce packs, there's cheese sticks, there's usually like those little mandarins. Sometimes I'll trick him and I'll throw like a couple Hershey Kisses in there just to keep things real. Sometimes I'll have like little containers of like lunch meat roll-ups or whatever, things that are easy to grab and go. The nice thing about that is, and I also have some things on the counter, which I'll tell you in a minute. The nice thing about that is, if I'm running out the door for something, don't drop it.
Sorry, guys. All right.
You good?
Yeah. I think so. Okay.
I can grab a cheese stick or like an applesauce pack, something like that, and I can walk out the door knowing that I have carb and I have protein and fat. So I feel like that's an easy, fast grab and go for me. On my counter, I've bought these little containers. You can use anything you think that would work in your house. But I put some trail mix in there, like raisins and nuts in one of them, so he knows he can take one of those little containers, and he can have that anytime. The idea behind an anytime snack is, if he wants that 10 minutes before dinner, I don't care if he eats an applesauce pack 10 minutes before dinner. I really don't. Because guess what? He can eat that for dinner anyway. You know, so that's like my thought process behind them. But it works out well for my husband and I, because if we're rushing, we can grab the trail mix and run out the door and know that we're getting a small snack of something that's going to be nourishing too. I usually have on the counter some sort of, you know, kid thing, goldfish, bunnies, whatever it is on the counter in a little container with the nuts, so he can grab both. Usually does. I always have raisins. I always have some sort of nut, whether it's pistachios or cashews. I'm not really picky. I say any nut is a good nut, as long as it's not over salted. And I'm trying to think what else is there right now. Oh, I did get these fruit strip bar things that he likes in the summer. So there's a couple of them on there. But usually he'll eat one of them and he's like, now I don't feel full because they're tiny. And then he'll go and eat, you know, nuts or cheese or whatever. So that idea is good for the whole family and it really works out. Is that something you think you girls could do?
Oh yeah, I actually been getting like applesauces and like the little applesauce cups and fruit cups and stuff for them to just grab whenever they want, like as a snack and stuff. So I'm already ahead.
Look at you. You are
What did you say was something nice to pair with nuts? Like if they was to eat nuts, to have raisins,
dried fruit, raisins.
Okay.
And I will tell you, if your kids go food shopping with you, one of my parents had two girls and they were fighting constantly over the cereal aisle, and mom wanted them to eat like Cheerios. And they're kids. They don't want Cheerios. They want the fancy stuff. And I was like, buy the Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. And she was like, what? I'm like, listen, buy the Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries, but it's not breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's part of the trail mix that you are going to create for your kids. So then they're getting not this much Captain Crunch, they're getting this much Captain Crunch, and everybody's happy, and you don't have to fight. Because who wants to fight over food? It's annoying. You know, you are the head shoppers in your households. You guys are providing the food for your whole family. So like, if you don't buy the mini muffins, they're not happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff. And I will tell you that with snacking, one little rule of thumb could be like, try to pull away from the processed snacks, like the muffins or what's the other stuff that kids love? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank right now.
What about fruit snacks? What does Karen do?
I'm okay with fruit snacks as long as they're not like the scary dyed ones, like the blue and all that kind of stuff. Like Welch's makes okay fruit snacks. Aldi has decent fruit snacks that are like, they're organic, sweetened with fruit juice kind of thing. I'm okay with them sometimes. Your dentist might not be okay with them.
Right.
Because I mean, we have to remember they are kids, just
Right.
like we're adults. Like
once in a while.
sometimes, yeah, I do want a piece of birthday cake. You know, I get it. If it looks like a great piece of cake, I'm going to eat it. So I totally understand that, but it's making sure that it's not all the time. And the nice thing about snobby snacking is that one of those snacks is a snack, but let's just say like you were rushing, you could have two of those things as a meal. So I could have an applesauce pack and a cheese stick and trail mix as my meal. You know, that will keep me full because I have fat and fiber and protein and all these things going on and carb. I don't know if that's the meal I would choose. I'd much rather have a sandwich, but if I'm on the run, that could happen. And it's nice to kind of think that way. So Triscuits are a big one that live in our house too. We eat a lot of Triscuits because they're just tasty and they taste really good with peanut butter or sunflower butter or almond butter or whatever. Cream cheese, some of those kind of things. Do you feel like the processed foods have been coming into your house more and more,
Of course.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna put that as one of your goals. Like, think about balanced plates, think about snobby snacking, and down on the processed stuff.
Okay.
If you could turn something over and you can read on the back, like for example, a Kind bar. Have you guys ever heard of those? The Kind, they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If you turn over a Kind bar, you will know what every single ingredient in there is.
Mhm.
However, if you turn over a Quest bar or one of these like big man protein bar things, like there are so many ingredients in them that I'm petrified of them.
Right.
So if even if something has added sugar in it, if it tastes sweet, I'm not as scared if I know what it's sweetened with. I'd rather eat that and know like it's almonds and dark chocolate and this thing and that thing and raisins and cranberries, whatever,
Right.
and I'm satisfied with it than Frankenfood.
What would you say about like granola bars and stuff in that realm?
Granola bars are mostly carb.
Is that like a processed type of snack, you think?
I'll let them go because they do have fiber too. So it's not like you're just eating cookies. And like those Belvita bars, you ever try those Belvitas?
Yeah.
Those are technically processed too, but they're higher in fiber. And to put them with like peanut butter or nuts or something is actually a really great snack.
Okay.
So I'm okay with that. I'd rather Belvita bars live in your house than muffins.
Oh, right. And what about the crackers? I've been getting them too, like the peanut butter crackers. They're okay. The peanut butter cheese crackers and those type of snacks. Okay.
You know what it is? I tell my clients all the time, if you notice with yourself and you notice with your kids, these like carb cycles where they just can't stop, that's the food that you, I don't say restrict, but maybe that's the food you don't buy for a few weeks to kind of like get the kids to use their imagination with some other stuff.
Got you. That makes sense.
Because it's not about not letting them have it. I'm
Right.
fine with kids eating whatever, but they rely on things. And then it's easy. It's easy to open one of those 6 packs of crackers and eat all of them. It doesn't take work because they don't have to open a box and make their own crackers. You know, it's convenient.
Right.
So, okay. So down on the processed snacks, do you guys think it would be helpful to look at a food label quickly? Like the nutrition facts label? And I could show you like 1 or 2 things I look at on there because it's a pretty big, scary animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would just have to get in the habit of doing it because I don't normally do it. I just pick up stuff. But,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I'm trying to do things differently, so.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though, I don't look at everything on that food label. I look at one section on there and I will tell you the secret and I can share my screen with you and show you some things. Okay, so water first thing in the morning, water throughout the day. We want to go, sorry, I heard somebody screaming. Down on processed snacks, balanced plates. Now, tell me about, and then we'll talk about the label. Do you girls try to have like veggies, like raw veggies and fruits cut in the fridge, ready to go? So they're like when you open the fridge, they're one of the first things you see.
No.
It's okay. Sometimes I don't either.
But that sounds cool.
It does sound cool, right?
So when you
But
say ready to go,
here's-
you mean packaged and like
Well,
already?
here's my thing, and I'll tell you what I do with this.
Food
But when I go food shopping, which is usually an Aldi pickup, or I get them delivered to my house because I don't always have the time to food shop. When that comes, before the baby carrots and the celery and the cucumbers, and maybe I'll do like raw cauliflower or something, before that gets put in that danger drawer, you know, the veggie drawer where things go to disappear and rot.
I thought it was just me.
No, sweet pea, all of us. I'm a dietitian. I know better. Before it goes in there to go to Never Never Land, you have to cut it up. And what happens is, which is nice, is if you notice your kiddos and yourself might not be eating as many veggies, like especially with it being summer. I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather be outside. I like to grill. My husband and I grill burgers or turkey burgers or chicken or whatever. I'm not always thinking of the veggie. So if I cut up that cauliflower and carrots and have it all washed already, it's just so much less work. And I usually put it in like a Pyrex or Rubbermaid container. It's ready to go. At dinner, bring it out, have some dip, burgers, everybody's happy, corn, whatever else we're having. You have some of those veggies, you have a little dip or hummus or something, and that's dinner. But the nice thing is that if there's like just a little bit of it left, I wash it off again, chop it up, get some salad, and I make a salad of it for myself. So it's just another add-on to snobby snacking that can also be easy for the whole family. I find with kids, especially if the fruit is already cut and ready to go, like watermelon, cantaloupe, all that kind of stuff, they're going to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just took the guesswork out of it. It's done. It's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be something.
I have to get used to eating raw vegetables. Like I like raw carrots.
No, you don't like them.
I do. I like raw carrots, but I haven't really tried the raw broccoli.
You could eat.
I
didn't even
like
know
it
you could
with
do
dip.
that.
I don't know if I like it by itself.
It comes in a tray.
Oh.
Some people will actually, which is funny you mentioned the veggie tray. Some people to start will actually go buy like a bowl of already cut fruit. Totally fine with me. A thing of veggies with the dip in the middle. Totally fine with me.
I think I'll
That's
try
gonna
that.
get you into the routine
Mm-hmm.
of doing it. You might pay a little bit more, but I'm like, sure, why not? It's gonna help you to eat it.
Yeah, I'll try that. So then I can see what my kids actually like too, because they don't usually eat the raw. So I'll do that first, see what they like, and then I'll know what to buy more.
And it's a good taste testing too.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah.
buying a whole head of cauliflower, a whole thing of
We
broccoli.
could do that together.
We should do that together.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
Oh,
it.
girl,
Taste test.
that's so nice. And you're not wasting a ton of money if you buy all these things of tomatoes and carrots and celery and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, labels. Let's talk about the label. Okay, let me find a good thing to share with you here, because I love to talk about food labels. So let's type in.
I'm gonna get me some water.
What about water?
I'm gonna get me some water.
Yeah, go ahead. Take a minute. Take a regroup. Most people get thirsty when they're talking to me. What's a label that we want to look at? Let's look at some sort of. How about a kind bar? Nutrition facts, and I'll show you why I like them. Okay. Let me see here. Here we go. This should be a good one. My son is screaming bloody murder. You guys are lucky. We're at my mother-in-law's house. Her house is way bigger than mine, so luckily you don't hear it.
I didn't bring my kids over to Maddie's because then we wouldn't have been able to get through this. Her kids and my kids together would have sounded like a
Crazy.
birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
I only have one, and sometimes I think I have 20. It's crazy. Somebody said, they're like, well, what's it matter? If you have one, you might as well have 2 or 3. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see this here, if I can get this to you. If this will work. Okay. Oh, good. It's working. Can you girls see this?
Yes.
Can you see the screen? Okay, so this is the facts label. You can see, actually, it's not a good layout of the nutrition facts label, but this is on the back of a kind bar, this almond dark chocolate sea salt one, which happens to be my favorite one. The things I look at on here, I don't look at calories. I don't really worry about calories as much as I worry about the balance of the carbs, the protein, and the fat. And I also look at fiber. So when we're looking at this label, there's a whole lot going on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I really look at are these percentages on the right side. See these?
Mhm.
So this is going to be a game changer for you girls.
Hmm.
If something is 20% or more, it's high. If something is 5% or less, it's low. So what does that mean about this label to me? That means when I look, and 2 things I look at are sodium and fiber, because they're very important to me. Fiber because it keeps you fuller longer, and it means probably that they're using more of the whole food, like the whole grain or the whole nut, different things like that. So you can see here in this one bar, it's 25% fiber.
Mhm.
That's fantastic. And you can see here sodium is 6. Great job. Some other things in here, I mean, it does have some fat, which I'm sure it does because it has nuts. Totally fine. It has some carb, which is good. Not necessarily freakishly high carb, which is fine. And then it also has some iron, potassium, some little bits of things going on down here.
Mhm.
So me personally, I look at the dietary fiber and I look at the sodium. If sodium is 5% or less, that's fantastic. If fiber is 20% or more, that's doubly fantastic. You're not always going to find those things, but I know like there are a couple products that I use in my house. One of them is like a 90-second Aldi blend of grains and lentils and brown rice and whatever, and it is like 30% sodium, but I'm also not eating the whole entire bag. I'm sharing it with my husband and son, so I feel like, and we're also not eating it every day, so I don't worry about that as much. If it was something I was eating every day, like for example, say I was eating cereal guess what? If I'm on the road and I'm going to stop at Wawa or, you know, a gas station or something, and this is what I can grab and know that I'll feel content with this, I'm totally fine with that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's look at something like, now
And so you'll eat that just by itself? Just the one kind bar?
This is one kind bar. Is that what you asked?
Yeah, and you'll eat that and be like content.
For a snack. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, I do listen to my body. If I feel like I need more, I might have, I know you guys don't do cheese and I keep talking about cheese. I might have like a cheese stick with it, or maybe if I needed a couple crackers. Like this could be part of a meal if I had this with something else, like a piece of fruit and a cheese stick. Totally fine. I would be full from that.
Okay.
I might not be as full if I ate like a salad and a sandwich, but I could be full from that. Okay, let's talk about.
And that's the main thing, because we try to find snacks in between the meal, because we don't want to indulge when we eat our meals. So we're really trying to. This is good because we're trying to find out snacks that we can eat in between. So we won't.
Right,
eat
and the
as
idea
much.
is they'll take you when you eat the carb plus the protein and fat. It's going to take you to the next meal without making you feel starving.
Mm-hmm.
Is the whole idea behind it. There was something I just wanted to look up. Let's look up like what kind of cereals do you girls eat?
I don't really eat cereal,
Neither do
but
I.
when I do buy cereal for the girls, they like the Honey Nut Cheerios or the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay, let's look at Honey Nut Cheerios.
Those
and I want
stay
to
in
see
my
what
house.
you say. And I already know these are fine, but I just want to see what it looks like. Let me see if I can find the image. Okay, here we go. I want to find the new facts label. I want to see the nutrition label because I want you to see what the new label looks like and why. I want to show you the added sugars on there. Let's see here. What's this one? Okay, this one is good. Oh, it looks like it's in French. No, we're not doing this now. Leave. Oh my God, why is this so complicated? Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, here we go. So this is the new food label for the Honey Nut Cheerios. I'm not sure where this is, but see this label right here?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the new things that they did on the new food label, which has recently just happened, is they have added, no, this is not the one I want. Sorry, girls, stay tuned. Maybe this one. Nope. I wanted to show you with the added sugar, because that's one of the things that they put in here. Here we go.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, so can you see on here? Let me see if I can make this bigger for you. So they made the calories bigger. They made the serving size bigger. Why does it keep wanting me to do this? I'm not doing this right now. Stop bothering me. No, X. So anyway, they made the calories bigger at the top to read, and they also made the you see the calories are bigger. They made the serving size bigger, and they highlighted the fat, the cholesterol, sodium, total carb, like things they kind of want people to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that they did was they looked at, and I don't think that this is definitely not for Honey Nut Cheerios. I don't know what this food is, but I just wanted to show this to you. You can see on here, total sugars includes 0 grams of added sugars. This is a new thing, and I will tell you that this is something that the juice industry did not want put on the label. So by the end of my son was born in 2017. By the end of 2017, this label was supposed to be on all foods. But what happened was the juice industry was like, "Whoa, pony, we are not putting this on our label because we don't want parents seeing how much added sugar we're putting in our stuff."
Mm-hmm.
So when you look on a label, yes, the fiber is important. This food has 0 fiber. I'm guessing this is some sort of, it's got to be some sort of meat product or something because the protein's real high in the iron. But the added sugar is a new thing on there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you pull a box of cereal and you see it has like 15 grams of sugar and 10 of them are added sugar, that means most of what that cereal is sweetened with is something that's added to it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So like if you got, let me stop presenting here. So if you got like fresh squeezed orange juice, of course it's going to have sugar in it because, are you okay?
Yeah, I was looking, Because I have this.
Okay, let's look at it. You tell me, does it say added sugar on there?
Yeah, it says 15 grams of added sugar.
And how much total sugar?
Total sugar is 15 grams.
So everything that is sweetened with is 15 grams. I will tell you, does it have a percentage next to it? Next to the 15 grams?
30%. That's too high.
Kind of high.
That's high because that's over 20%, so that's really high.
Look at you girls are learning. You're learning so fast.
Throw that box away.
I
I'm not telling you to throw it away.
No, just eat in moderation, right?
One thing that I will say is I always tell people, yogurts are notorious for this, especially kids' yogurts. They put a lot of crap in yogurt.
Oh,
If you can
Lord.
get your food naked, meaning like it has nothing on it, you can sweeten it as much as you want. Like I would rather people buy plain Cheerios and put honey on them or sugar on them, dare I say, or fruit or whatever it is, than buy the stuff that's pre-sweetened. However, I'm not trying to cause a big riff in your family. If your kids love that
Well, you
cereal,
can add it to a trail to make a trail mix. It wouldn't be as bad, right?
you were listening.
See, there you go, bestie.
See that? You were listening. So that's exactly what I'm saying. And if you notice, like on your Simply Lemonade, yes, it's a better choice, but you'll notice it has like I'm just making up a number, 35 grams of sugar, and 35 of them are added sugar, and it's going behind sugar because it's a juice. It's a juice. But if you bought orange juice that was fresh squeezed orange juice, it might have 20 grams of sugar, but 0 grams of added sugar because it's just juice from an orange. An orange has sugar.
Right.
Milk has sugar. Bread has flour has sugar. It's the way it's made. It came from the earth. It's not a big deal. But it's just some things to think about. That was a lot of info I spewed at you guys.
It's a lot of great
got it.
information. Yes.
And you're already drinking water.
Yes.
We got it.
Most people get thirsty when they talk to me. Okay, so label reading, I want you looking at the 5% and the 20%. Obviously things like salt, you want to be on the closer to the 5. Fiber, you want to be higher. Carbs, somewhere in between. If you're eating something like a bagel, it's going to be higher in carbs, and that's okay.
Okay.
It's not something you're eating every day, especially if you're eating it with some egg or something like that. So let's talk about the balance with some of these meals that you girls told me about, the waffles and syrup. That's waffles, carb, and syrup, carb. Breakfast, people are notorious for not pairing correctly, and that's perfectly fine. That's why I have a job. What I want you to do is think about, could you have an egg with the waffles? That would be like a perfect pairing so that you're having a rise in blood sugar, but you're having the protein to keep you fuller longer. Same thing with your sausage and eggs. It's protein and fat, but you need carb. So do you want to add in some of the fruit bowl that you're going to buy? Do you want to add in a piece of toast with a little butter? Do you want to add in a hash brown? Like whatever it is you think that you want to add in, that's going to give you a little bit of carbohydrate.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good job, girls.
So you said you want to have a protein, a carb, and try to have a fiber too. Okay.
When people switch from white bread to like whole wheat or whole grain bread, what's happening is if you just ate a piece like a white hot dog roll, your blood sugar spikes up fast, falls down fast. But if you ate a whole wheat hot dog roll, your blood sugar is going to go like this, simply because fiber just takes longer to digest.
Okay.
It's going to be a slower rise in blood sugar. So that's why I personally look at fiber all the time. Partially because I'm kind of amazed by how they put fiber in things sometimes. And the bread aisle is a really scary place. Along with the yogurt aisle. I feel like in a big supermarket, they're two of the most confusing sections of the whole entire market. Because the bread aisle is huge. It's enormous.
It is. It definitely is. I don't understand why so many different kinds.
Because America likes choices. And the food industry does not care if we live or die. So they want our money, and they want to give us lots of choices and make us buy those things.
And make us obese.
And make us think that they're good for us, like low-fat, non-fat cream cheese. Things to look at if you're really interested, girls, when you go to the supermarket. If you look in, if you pick up, and this is just how my brain works, if you pick up non-fat Philly cream cheese, low-fat Philly cream cheese, and that old school block of Philly cream cheese, the old school block of Philly cream cheese will have like 4 ingredients. You'll probably know what everything is.
they'll stick with
You would just eat a little less of the full fat cream cheese that has good flavor. Your mouth will be happy, your body's happy, and you don't need like half the container of the non-fat stuff. It just doesn't take when they take something out of a food like fat, for example, like out of ice cream, they always add usually more sugar, more salt, sometimes stabilizers, because fat is yummy. It tastes good on our tongue, you know. So and our brain likes us to have good flavor, so they have to try to mimic it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It just gets to be sketchy food. That's why like light and fit yogurt, not happening.
Yeah.
Just give me the fat.
So good. What'd you say?
Just give me the fat.
And I'll balance
well,
it out.
That, it's also the aspartame. It's also the stuff that they put in there, like to try to get it to lower calorie, and that stuff is scary. I wouldn't feed it to my worst enemy. So okay, good stuff. What about exercise? Anything going on there?
So we have been walking. We have started walking a few weeks ago. We tried to go twice a week.
And then we do whatever we can by ourselves. I have an exercising bike I get on as often as I can. And
Cool.
then we try to do like other workouts like at least once or twice a week. Right now probably once, depending on the time that we have. Like a more cardio workout, like more, you know, moving and stuff.
Good. Okay. Tell me questions that you have. That was a lot of info I shot at you.
How do we eat before we work out?
Yes.
Good one. If you're doing a really strenuous workout, I would recommend eating like one of like the fast acting carbs, like a piece of fruit, a banana, something like that, because your muscles use glucose for fuel. So they're using blood sugar for fuel. So that's why like if kids play sports, you'll see moms or dads or whoever bring like orange slices, soft pretzels, watermelon, that kind of stuff for kids to eat, because it's fast acting, gives them energy to finish off the game. Especially soccer players, I feel like, because they're running so much, lacrosse, that kind of stuff. So anything like that. I mean, but if you've also eaten breakfast like within 45 minutes or something like that of exercising, you don't need to eat anything.
Okay.
Well, we usually do a workout probably, well, sometimes we'll do it early in the morning if we do it on the weekends. If we go walking, it's more like in the evening.
Okay. So you probably are already eating lunch, maybe a snack.
Yeah.
Just see how you feel. Do you feel like you could walk more if you ate more, or you'll have to gauge how you feel, because it really depends on the time of day. Like my clients that go and work out at 6 in the morning, I usually tell them like grab a couple crackers, grab a handful of grapes to eat on the way to the gym, or to try to eat before you get on your bike or whatever. But if it's been the daytime and you've eaten dinner already and then you're walking after dinner, you probably don't need to eat much.
Okay.
I'm sure you have enough carb to fuel you
Right.
for the workout. But if you notice that you're starting to feel sluggish, or like you feel like you could go further if you would have eaten more, play around with it.
Okay.
Everybody's body is different,
Right.
so it's hard to say like one thing. Fruit, I just feel like is an easy grab, like a banana or a couple mandarins or grapes or something like that.
Okay. So if you are feeling like hungry or something before you work out, that's when you grab the, like fruit or crackers or something. Okay.
Yeah, like I have quite a few clients that are like heavy duty into cycling, like biking like 30 miles, which is a lot. And we just talk about like what is packable in your, your back pouch. Like, could you put a banana and a power bar, or like a protein bar or whatever, something like that. Or sometimes they'll do like a shake, like a pre-made shake. I don't always love that before a workout. I just feel like it's too jiggly on my belly, but everybody's a little different. So you have to play around with what you think.
So the follow-up with that after the workout, it would be something to slow it down, maybe?
It really
Or
depends
same
on the
thing?
timing.
Okay.
If you're hungry and you feel like you need something, not everybody needs something after they work out. Like if you were doing like CrossFit or like a really heavy duty like cycling class or something like that, you probably would want to have a Greek yogurt or something that's going to give you like a snobby snack, something that's going to give you protein back into.
Okay. Because the lately we like at the walking and stuff, and sometimes after working out, we might want to eat dinner. But it's like after doing that good workout, we like don't want to eat much, because it's like then it's like all for a waste.
But remember, your body needs fuel and it needs protein to heal.
So just a regular meal.
If you're having chicken and rice and veggies, or a burger and some veggies, that's totally fine.
Okay,
Okay.
You need that protein and fat to heal your body.
got you.
What's
Yep.
the latest that we should eat dinner?
It really depends on the person's schedule.
Yeah, because they
I
said it's
find
kind of a myth about that eating. I think I heard that from somebody. Eating.
Yeah, this is my
Before you
thing.
go to bed.
If you go to bed at 9 o'clock and you're eating dinner at 7:30 or 8, you could have reflux. If reflux is something that happens, which a lot of my clients do have reflux, you don't want to eat too close to bed. But if my clients are working all night long, like say they're a nurse and they work 7 p to 7 a.m., like I can't tell them to stop eating at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
because they're working all night.
Right.
So it is kind of a myth.
Yeah. So I just
Usually
really
for a general rule, just for calm bodies, I usually tell people like an hour and a half before you go to bed, 2 hours, you really should be done eating.
Okay.
So like in my life, I'm usually getting in bed at 8:30 because I'm getting my son down for bed. I don't usually get out of bed again to go eat something, like I'm brushing teeth and being done by then. I'm watching shows in bed or whatever, but I usually go to bed by 10:30 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's like a nice rule of thumb, like a couple hours before bed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that your body can feel calm and you can, not be trying to digest this like huge pile of food
Right
before you go to sleep. Neither one of you girls has reflux, right?
Not that I know of.
Not all the time. Sometimes, but now that you say that, it makes sense because we've been eating later. I feel like since we haven't been going to school and doing everything, we've just been out and then eating late and then going to bed. Like, oh, we just got to eat something before we go to bed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's probably a reason why it's hard for me to stay asleep. My body's just like, you just ate.
Yeah, well, it's got energy, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the next time we talk, when you're drinking more water, you'll be sleeping.
Cool.
You'll be absolutely sleeping. I do want to talk to you about next time, like a couple of supplements and different things to chat about. I also want to talk to you about some like cooking things that I do, but for now, I really want you guys just taking notes for myself for next time. Now, I want you guys really focusing in on that plate, and if you're putting crackers in your mouth, what protein or fat are you adding in with that?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Let's talk about when we're going to talk again, girls. I usually like to give people at least a few weeks, and we have the July 4th holiday coming up, so that kind of throws some bubble gum into the mix.
Before we go, I have a quick question. Since we're talking about the way the food makes our body feel and stuff. So lately, I've been feeling like